Welcome back into the Lucky Shots podcast, everybody. Today is the final day of the rankings shows. We will be doing the tight ends today. Hopefully, this is all before your draft because you waited until the end of preseason, to avoid all of those pesky preseason injuries and hopefully not drafting anybody that gets hurt during those preseason games. But today is the tight end show, so let's hop right into that. We'll bump this down, pop this up, and here we go. It's going to be a lot shorter today than the other videos because tight end is a very small portion of fantasy football, but can be a very vital portion if you have these certain guys. So let's go into the elites. You got Mark Andrews, you got Travis Kelce, and honestly, we'll put Kyle Pitts up into the elite. I know not putting Darren Waller in there and putting Kyle Pitts in there is a little like, what's going on? Well, I mean, Kyle Pitts is the most talented receiver for the Falcons. And if he catches touchdowns, if he caught touchdowns last year, he was going to be probably in the top 3 for tight ends, but I don't know if he caught a touchdown. I think maybe he only caught 1 touchdown. So if he gets touchdowns, he's going to be the upper echelon of tight ends along with these two guys. Mark Andrews is going to stay as that top tight end, I believe. No Hollywood Brown for the Ravens. They do have Rashad Bateman, but Mark Andrews was easily a tight end 1 most of all weeks. If not, he was the tight end 2 behind Travis Kelce. So your discretion which tight end, if you have the option of both, you take. But these two definitely would be the top ones. I think Kyle Pitts would be also up there as well. Let's go into the tight end 1 room now where we can put Darren Waller. The only reason I really am not going to put Darren Waller into that elite category is the addition of Davante Adams for the Raiders this offseason. It's definitely going to cut into his production, but I still think he is going to be a very, very good tight end if you're able to pick him up. Another guy would be Dalton Schultz, Dallas Goedert. I'm putting Zach Ertz up there. And let's take a look. Mike Gesicki, I think, is going to continue to be up there as well. And TJ Hawkinson. Hawkinson has just continually been a solid tight end 1 option. Can win you some weeks along with Mike Gesicki, even though there is that addition of Tyreek Hill. He's still a big body for a quarterback that, let's be honest, isn't the greatest, doesn't have the strongest arm. So Mike Gesicki, I think, will stay there. I think Zach Ertz, at least through the first 6 weeks of the year, without DeAndre Hopkins being on the Cardinals, he could absolutely blow up for the first 6 weeks. He was outstanding for them last year, especially when DeAndre Hopkins was not on the field. So I think those first 6 weeks can really propel him to a great start, and hopefully he can hold that throughout the rest of the year. So I think he's going to be very good. And then 2 guys that were models for consistency last year at the tight end position were Dalton Schultz and Dallas Goedert. If you had either one of them, you had a top 5 tight end pretty much every single week. So I think they stay there this year as well. The only concern for Dallas Goedert, there's so many D names, for Dallas Goedert is that A.J. Brown is now on the Eagles as well, so that could cut into that production, but we'll have to see how it goes. Not putting George Kittle up there. I don't know how the offense is going to look with Trey Lance at the helm. I don't suspect it's going to be super pass heavy, and that could cut into George Kittle. He's still a great option, but we're gonna put him at the tight end too because I think his production drops with Trey Lance at quarterback. Somebody else that's a very good tight end is Dawson Knox. He's a guy that could be, more than likely, these two guys will be starting tight ends for you. But I just think they're on a lower level than these guys up here. But Dawson Knox had some incredible games last year, got hurt for a couple weeks, but still played really, really well. Logan Thomas, I think you can still count on. He is working through an injury, as is Robert Tonyan. But a guy like Carson Wentz for Logan Thomas, I think, is going to be pretty good. We'll just have to wait and see because Logan Thomas is a fairly capable tight end that can get you anywhere, from 13 to 15 points a week. Robert Tonyan, he's dealing with an injury, but when he comes back, I feel like he could be the top guy for Aaron Rodgers in an offense without Devontae Adams. So Robert Tonyan, he's going to stay lower in my rankings, but I think he could easily vault himself up to being a really good tight end this year with Aaron Rodgers needing a new big target. Albert O, I think, could work his way in there with the addition of Russell Wilson and now Noah Fant on the team. He was pretty good last year with not a great quarterback. He's going to be on the Broncos. I think they're going to turn into a fairly pass-heavy team in a division where they're going to have to win some shootout games. So I think Albert O has a good chance of playing well. Then we've got Pat Freiermuth. Was really good last year. Going to have to wait and see what this offense looks like. But in terms of tight end, I think he obviously can get the job done and give you some top 5 weeks, which you have a tight end that can make top 5 weeks. That's pretty valuable. I believe the last tight end that I'll put up here is Cole Kmet because he was a big target for Justin Fields last year. Proved that he is fully capable of, taking 7 targets a game. Hopefully that happens again this year for him. And if it does, I think he is definitely a good option for your tight end position. Hunter Henry, I think we'll go ahead and throw him up there as well. And Tyler Higbee because of the pass-heavy Rams. But then I think everybody else, he's on the Seahawks now. You never know. He could be somebody that gets a lot of garbage time from Drew Lock or Geno Smith. But I just don't see a lot of production coming out of Noah Fant. Mo Alley Cox needs to prove himself. Irv Smith, actually, we can put up here as well because if Adam Thielen does decline, the targets and all of that are going to need to go somewhere. And I think Irv Smith could benefit from that. Hayden Hurst will throw into the bench with Gerald Everett and Evan Ingram. So Evan Ingram now plays for the Jags, but they just spent so much money on receiving core that I don't know where he fits into that. Njoku just got a big bag of money from the Browns, but again, no Deshaun Watson for 11 weeks. And I don't like the outlook for the Browns. CJ Uzama will go on the bench as well as Austin Hooper. So I think if you stick with these 6, and make the cutoff about here, those will be all of the adequate tight ends for this year. The rest are maybes, possiblies, just fill up a spot and get you a few points at least, I feel like. But the great thing about tight ends is these two will probably go early, but then you have your pick of the litter from these in later rounds. So if you don't get Mark Andrews or Travis Kelce, you don't need to fret, but once you start getting down into, okay, there's only a few of these guys left, you definitely want to try to pick one of them up because you don't want to be the team that's got a lot of good talent and then you get your butt kicked at the tight end position every week and only score about 5 points there. So that is it for the tight end show, and that wraps up the ranking shows for this preseason of the 2022 NFL fantasy year. Keep an eye out for the division predictions, the division outlooks. Those are going up as well. So see where I think your team ranks. And again, when we start the season, we will be going live on Twitch in the mornings. So drop by, have a conversation, interact with the show, have some fun. And if you don't catch it there, you can watch it back on YouTube. And if you would like to just listen to the shows, don't have time to watch, maybe you're driving and want to listen to it in the car, you can find it anywhere you find podcasts. So make sure to tune in, like all these videos, subscribe, give the Twitter a follow for updates and all of that. But again, thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next time.